Hello and welcome to another tape recording video, and this time I'm going to introduce the Luxor MP283 tape recorder, which was a machine manufactured by the Swedish company of Luxor. Now Luxor was not very well known internationally, but they were very well known nationally in Sweden, especially for radios and later televisions, and could be considered a bit of a national brand of Sweden. This particular machine was not among Luxor's first. The first magnetic recording devices from Luxor were actually wire recorders, which they introduced in 1949 using American wire recording technology. In the mid-50s they realized that wire recording was a bit of a dead-end technology as tape recorders became available around the world, and they switched to tape recorders sometime in the mid-50s. This machine is younger than that. I would say it's from the early to mid-1960s. And this particular one, I believe, would have been used as an institutional recorder, for instance, in schools, etc. And the reason for that is that I believe that is that the power amplifier output stage is push-pull on this machine, which is rather unusual for a small machine of this type. So my idea is that it would be connected to a loudspeaker in a school, for instance, and used to play back classroom material. And for that you'd need a bit of a stronger power amplifier than you would in an ordinary home machine. As I said, it's two-track, and this is in an area when most manufacturers would have switched to four-track, that being offering twice the amount of playing time on a tape. I would think that there were certainly other mono machines in that area from Luxor, but most of them would have been four-track. So I think this is intended as an institutional machine, and it hasn't seen much use. There's not a lot of scratches or marks on the case. I would like to point out the incredibly compact style of this machine. Consider that there is a built-in speaker and a tube amplifier with 4 tubes essentially, plus of course motors, transformers, and the rest of the electronics, and all that in this compact case. So it really is a bit of an engineering feat to offer it in this compact form. And it's not, when we think of tube technology, we think of big machines that take up lots of space, but not so when it comes to this one. Being a mono machine in a stereo area means that there are a couple of features, like this cover here covers the track selector on a 4-track machine, and this plate here on a 4-track machine would have had a balance control in the middle. It has 2 slots here which on stereo machines are the recording level indicators, but on this one there's only 1 recording level indicator, and the slot on the left just contains a green pilot light. If we turn on the machine, we can see the pilot light come on with a slightly eerie green glow, and within a couple of seconds the recording level indicator lights up too. Now that, in many machines the recording level indicator only comes on when the machine is recording. On this one it's always illuminated. So let's put a reel of tape on the left-hand reel and on the reel holder and thread it through. This right-hand reel here is actually made by 3M Scotch, but it's Luxor branded, and it's a self-threading reel. Doesn't always work, but fairly well. It threads itself, means you don't have to pull the tape through a slot just to thread it. And I'm going to plug in a microphone. In this machine unusually has some sort of, I think, 4mm jack connector, which I have never been able to get hold of. Thankfully someone has rebuilt it so that there is a DIN connector that is intended for a radio connection, and we can use that for the microphone because a microphone signal is not that much lower than a radio connection. So if I just press this button, the recorder works as an amplifier. You can probably hear my voice being amplified in the speaker. But if I press down the record button and advance the function control forward, the tape will begin to move. And if I advance the volume control here, you can see that the recording level indicator will indicate that my voice is being recorded on the tape. I should point out here that this joystick control is very reminiscent of Tandberg machines, except that in Tandberg machines, when you want to put the machine in play mode, you pull the joystick towards you. I don't know if this was not to infringe the patent, or they felt that pushing the control away from you was more logical. I'm not really sure. This here is a pause button, just stops the tape momentarily. And with volume control we've already shown you, and in order to demonstrate some of the other controls, we'll stop the tape here and rewind it and listen to our recording. This here is a tone control with the treble at the top, the bass at the bottom. The bass control unfortunately doesn't work too well on this machine, but I'll demonstrate the treble control once we start playing. And this here is a speaker selector, where you can select between an internal or external speaker. You can see that the recording level indicator will indicate that my voice is being recorded on the tape. I should point out here that this joystick control is very reminiscent of Hamburg machines, except that in the speed selector can choose between 3 speeds, 1 7/8, 3 3/4, and 7.5 inches per second. Interestingly, even though the machine is manufactured in Sweden and has legend in Sweden, the tape speeds are indicated only in inches per second. Certain machines, when you want to put the machine in play mode, pull the joystick towards you. I don't know if this was not to infringe the patent, or they felt that pushing the control away from you was more logical. I'm not really sure. This tape momentarily, and with volume control we've already shown you. Normally, of course, you would record and play back at the same tape speed unless you're after some sort of trick effects. Fast wind is accomplished, as you've seen, by moving the joystick to the right and to the left, and the machine has a slight feature in that when you're winding the tape forward or backwards, you can hear it. You can hear a bit of the sound on the tape, which can be useful for locating parts of the tape. I'm not sure if this feature is too intentional. It doesn't sound too effective, but it does work of sorts because the tape passes fairly close to the recording playback head. Incidentally, a lot of these machines have gone silent over the years because the manufacturer, Bogen, of the heads had problems in their manufacture of the windings, which tend to go open circuit after a while. Thankfully, this machine has survived, but a lot of machines have been thrown out because the tape head has been rendered useless over time. So, there we have it. The Luxor MP283, a reel-to-reel recorder from, I would say, the mid-60s by the Swedish company of Luxor. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.